Hello everyone, ATR here, and I wanted to make this video real quick to show off the brand new map that was just given to us by the good folks at Relic. The map is Langreskaya, and well, to any Company of Hero fan that has played in the well, anytime in the old original Company of Heroes, well, this is Langre, guys. It's Langre. It's called Langreskaya here, and you'll recognize it right away. I mean, we see it's so pretty. Now, Langre is probably one of the most played maps in the original Company of Heroes. It was a community submitted map, so it wasn't by default in there, but it is one of those staple maps that everybody has played in countless of times. And well, we're going to be able to enjoy it in Company of Heroes 2. Now, there are a couple things to, well, check. Generally speaking, the layout is very similar, but there are some differences here. Going to the tactical map, we're going to see, obviously, the points are different, because in the original Company Heroes you had different value types of points, like high, low, and medium munition points and fuel points and so on. And strategic points were actually very few and far between. They were more just for connecting territories and giving a small manpower boost. But anyways, we're going to see that the distribution here is the same as far as victory points. We have, one in the middle, one on the left side, and one on top of the north. So the ones on the edges are pretty close to the base of, your opponent or your own base, whatever you are. And it's essentially going to be usually a fight for the middle point. Now, before, in the original one, this was a high munitions point, I believe, so now it's just a standard munition point. This one was also a munitions point, but I believe it was medium on the original version, so that is a small difference there, that they're now equal. We also have a fuel point on this side of the map, and over here, I believe this one was a high munitions point also. I mean, high fuel point in the original one, and this one was medium. They're all now going to be the same. Also, there's some points missing in the map. In the original one, there was an adjacent point which was small munitions, I believe, in the original one. Since that is no longer the case, well, we no longer have those points because we don't have small munitions. So the base sector now extends all the way over here in the northern one. This area was divided, and there was a flag right here, which usually you would keep. It would be kind of hard for the enemy to take it from you, so that is no longer there. Same on the southern one. There was a flag right here, where the bunker is now, and well, that flag is now gone. The bunker setup is a little bit different now, but I mean, it's essentially the same since there's no munitions point or capturable point over here. The bunker was over here before, but it it got moved, but either way, it still covers your entrances. It's fine. One thing to keep in mind is that these machine guns or bunkers, whatever, cover your adjacent strategic point. This one covers this one right here. So this point and this one over here is pretty much all the time, unless you get some tank rush or whatever and gets destroyed. This is pretty much always going to be under your control. So we probably should expect to see these points, this one and this one, getting some type of cache on top of them, either the fuel or munitions. Probably fuel. People like their fuel, and it should be well defended because there's always going to be a machine gun right there, making sure that nobody caps it. I mean, I guess this one is a little bit more exposed because it's next to a victory point, which your enemy can harass and potentially shoot at this weapons or munitions. I mean, weapons or fuel cache, but I mean, relatively speaking, it's going to be well protected. This one is on the far edge of the map, so it's probably a little bit more secure than this one. But again, I mean, it's right next to your base, so it shouldn't be that much of a problem. Now, as far as the layout goes, there are some small differences, including this hole right here. If anybody played the original Langre, you'll remember that this hedgerow was complete, and you would have to either move from here or move, from the north. There's a hole now in the middle, which means that it's going to be more accessible, which opens up, newer paths and new strategies, I guess you could say. Another thing to note is that in the original one, there was a strategic point right here in the crossroads, and then the victory point. The victory point now is the point that actually has the entire territory, so that is going to be something else to keep in mind. If you own the victory point, you own the entirety of the road. Another thing to note is that these buildings, this one, and this one over here, while they're in the same position, in the original one they were two-story brick buildings, so they were very durable. Uh, and so they were popular places to garrison, especially this one and this one over here, because this one would um, cover this point. That is still the case, but they are, well, pretty much shacks now, wooden shacks, which means they are not going to be that durable. I mean, most buildings in Company Heroes 2 are not that durable compared to the original Company Heroes. So we can probably expect these to be used in the early game, machine guns and units jumping into them, but they're probably going to be taken down into the mid and late games, because they're not that durable. Aside from that, I mean, pretty much, I mean, there's aesthetic differences. There's trees here where there weren't before, but pretty much the layout is the same. I mean, anybody who's played it is going to be comfortable in this map and, know how to play it. The usual cutoff points are the same. This one being a big cutoff point that usually gets harassed because it controls the entirety of the road, meaning that you can cut off the player on the north from the entire right side of the map. Granted, that is if he doesn't control... Well, okay, yeah, you can use it to cut him off. You can still keep these sectors under your control if you own the victory point and the munitions point. If you have that, if you can see on the tactical map, you're connected, so even if you get cut off here, you still have your workaround. But if this one is not under your control, you can get cut off completely from this side of the map if you lose this point. Likewise, this point over here is the same. If you don't have the road and the munitions point, which is a little bit harder for the southern player, it cuts you off from this entire side. So if you have this fuel, you'll lose it. Other than that, I mean, there's really not much else different. I mean, like I said, it's aesthetic things that you can see. I mean, a lot. I don't know if the placement of the cover is exactly the same. It looks very similar, but there might be some other light cover here and there that is not exactly in the same position. But otherwise, I mean, it's Langre, guys. It's Langre. It's pretty exciting. I love this map, played it a lot, and I hope to play it a lot in this new version. Now, I'm going to quickly jump into the winter version of it. As far as I know, it should be the exact same layout. It's just a, a visual difference, and obviously, you're going to get those blizzards coming into effect, which... I mean, not a lot of people like the blizzard effect, but it, it makes things a little bit different. You have to take that into consideration. But anyways, just hang on, guys, and I'll see you on the other side. And here we go, guys. We are now on the winter version of Langreskaya. Langre. I'm not sure if people are gonna call it Langreskaya or just called Langre because, well, it's Langre. Everybody knows that map. But yeah, like I mentioned, it is essentially the same as the spring version. There's really no difference in the paths, at least not that I can tell. We have the hedgerow, still the hole right there in the middle. The houses are the same. The trees here are not exactly the same, but they probably provide the same amount of cover. I haven't, checked exactly, but, essentially it's the same. It's just, the winter version. It looks wintry. So yeah, the only probable difference here is, the heavy snow, which we can see this area is covered in heavy snow, so your units are going to freeze around there if you don't get a fire pit going, maybe. And obviously the blizzards are going to be taking effect, so some things to take into account. But yeah, I mean, if we check the tactical map, it looks exactly the same. Victory points are in the same position, so no changes there, like, like Pripyat, where it's 3 in the center as opposed to the other one. But yeah, and same fuels on the edges, munitions right adjacent to the victory point. And yeah, I mean, there's no munitions or capturable point right next to your base. We still have these points that are covered by the bunkers. So yeah, I mean, as far as movement goes, I guess you could say it is going to be exactly the same. Just having to take those heavy, deep snows, what you call it, and blizzards into consideration. So yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited that this is now in the game. I hope to have a lot of games on it, and yeah, it should be fun. It's one of those maps that you almost know by memory. So yeah, I hope you guys liked the video. Hopefully it's not that long. I try to do it very quick. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the battlefield.